Hello trader, welcome back to NFP trading session, live NFP trading. Welcome back to this session for this Friday. NFP coming up in few minutes. This is an incredible trading day that you're expecting as coming up the most important news for the month. And welcome back to this live session like we do every day. Let's begin today's session. Are you guys ready? I'm waiting for everyone to show up. If you're saying yes in the live chat, that I know that you are here. We can begin the analysis and the trade setup. Spike coming up. Spike coming up. Let's begin today's session with gold, and then we will be looking at also currency pairs today, even the EN pairs, to see if there is any entry opportunity in this market. Ready to start? Let's begin the complete multi-time frame analysis, starting with gold. And gold, we can see that currently this market from the intraday, from the daily, we have seen that from this daily support level in our London session, we have discussed in depth on how we can trade in this NFP. Only 25 minutes remaining for this event to come up. Before the event, we are not opening any position, but in 25 minutes, we might be able to open position. I'm waiting for an entry. Before we go to that entry, let's look at here what kind of opportunity you might have today. I'm looking at the daily time frame on gold. Now, do you want me to see gold or euro dollar? How many traders here are looking at gold? I have two pairs in mind today. One is gold, the other one is euro dollar. Euro dollar, you can see there is a rejection coming up from the high. So do you want to go with gold or euro dollar? Gold, the more members will ask for, we will be starting with that. So which one you are looking at? Gold, 2 members gold. Say either euro dollar or gold, and then smash the like button so that we can begin this session. Thank you, gold. Welcome. Anyone else on gold? Manali gold. Anyone else? All right, so you see that most member wants gold, and I also like gold today as this is currently trending. Let's begin with gold. Mark, welcome. And once we see gold is done, the analysis is done, trade setup done, we might be also able to look for euro dollar if there is an exciting trading opportunity there as well. Now, gold, first of all, I'm going to look at the biggest picture, the monthly time frame. And when we're looking at the monthly, there is a very important price action that you can see. And if you look at from here, what do you see? A complete bounce back to the upside here. A complete bounce back to the upside here on gold. This is the monthly. And there is a very interesting price action on the monthly on gold. This is kind of, I would say, that fragile bridge. So if you look at, there is a river, the water is flowing in the river, there is a bridge here, okay, which is almost fragile. Anytime we could see a potential crack or breakdown. Gold on the monthly form a potential fragile bridge here in this river, and we might see, boom, potential breakdown here on the monthly, though it is still maintaining that bullish market structure. Why? Because starting from here you can see a monthly bullish candle, followed by monthly doji, followed by monthly bull candle, followed by another monthly middleman, back to back 3 monthly doji formation here, and we can see there is a series of higher low in this area on the monthly, and that series of higher low that you can see on the monthly, this month the market from this support level, this is the monthly open close price, which is very important to look at, and you can see that's an absolutely important support level, 3288 or 3290 level. If you look at here now, this is the 4th month back to back, 5th month, not the 4th month. In that level, the price closed and opened new price, new candle, and that's a very important support. The price currently up to that level. It is possible now for this market with NFP to have a spike potentially back to the upside or break that support back below. If you look at here, you can see this is a very narrow area on gold, and the price is filling that up. Here is coming up another monthly resistance level. So where the market is potentially be heading next? From the monthly, we see that the price in a very narrow kind of range in that area. If we look at the weekly, here we have drawn the weekly level, weekly support and weekly level. With this weekly price action that you can see 330203 level, which is the weekly and monthly resistance line. As the market is trying to push back here, so you're looking at dollar yen, we'll be looking at that. We can see the market is pushing back up here for a pullback. Here is the previous weekly support. Now I'm dropping down slowly back below to the lower time frame, and this is the weekly support, which is down resistance here, and from this zone negative news comes, then gold impact bullish or bearish. If DXY is carrying negative, that means it's gonna be bearish. What do you see on DXY? More often, gold move in the mirror opposite direction of DXY. We will be discussing in depth on that. So looking at daily, now here is the price action where you can see the market from this support level. From the daily perspective, it's pushing back to the upside rather than dropping down here. And today's high is at 3303 or 3302.99, which is 3303 level. And as the market is moving up to the 3303 level, we could see the price is heading back to that daily high here, the previous daily high, the previous daily resistance line. And that is where we can see the market is pushing back up potentially. Now, if the market is going today 3315 with NFP spike, there is a probability for rejection back again. Why? Because the overall market structure here in this market is bearish. Now looking at 4 hour, we can see that there is a doji formation on the intraday, and with this doji formation the price trying to potentially build up this pressure here to the upside in this market. Looking at the 15-minute chart, what we can see here in this lower time frame from the 15 minutes, as NFP coming guys in next 15 minutes, this current 15 minutes candle closing with NFP, here the market structure is showing that potentially to be locally bullish. Now the spike is the most important part here that we need to look at. So if you look at here, you can see that from this support, that move pullback, another move deeper pullback, the market may potentially continue to trend back here to this upside here. And that's a key level that you can see. This is a resistance line, and the market may continue to rise here to this key level. So that being said, here is what we can see, the market locally forming a bullish market structure. And as the market is forming locally bullish market structure, we could see that the market potentially to trend back to the upside here. And that's what we are looking for, that with the upcoming session with the NFP, if you look at the 4 hour, you can see also so far it moved back to the upside. Daily also the market has made its move back to the upside. Now if the NFP spike test the daily low is important. If you look at the daily low, this is the daily low here, and with the spike, if the market is testing the daily low, that means creating a long wick candle like that and then got a rejection, we might see the market to return back to the upside. This is one possible scenario. We'll be considering two important possible scenarios. One is for the bullish move, the other is for the bearish move. If you look at the daily here, the high, which is 3315 level, if the market is going back to the 3315 level before coming here, the key here is to look at where the market is going first. You see, this is how the price moves. If the price goes to the daily high before it come back to the daily low, we might see potential rejection, guys. Are you paying attention? If you pay attention, make sure you give a thumbs up, smash it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more update, education, analysis that I am posting every day. Now that being said, We are only 10 minutes away from the news. What's your opinion? Let me post a poll here. Now, what we can see here, looking back again on the 1 hour, from the 1 hour perspective here on gold is showing that the market possibly to go back up to cross that high before the NFP. Now, how the market is moving now may not be an indicator of how the market will move after the news, is because if you look at again, you can see that this is where slowly the price is building that pressure to the upside here. And if you look at in that area, you can see the price is slowly building that pressure and could push back up to the upside to this resistance line here. Now with this narrow doji, I'm looking at the 30 minutes perspective. The market is slowly trying to build up that pressure and potentially moving back to the upside to this resistance line. Looking at the 1 hour, again, we can see that one single move back to the upside, potentially going back up to that resistance line again. And looking at daily again here, that you can see the market is maintaining that uptrending market structure and forming that the price potentially to go back up to hit that 3315 level. That being said, what you can see here on the lower time frame, the price to go back up to build up that pressure and then to retest and then reject back again to this support level to create a new lower low. Now, as with the progression of this session coming up NFP, let's try to understand that what's gonna happen with the upcoming data here. Looking at the calendar here, what do you see? That in 6 minutes time coming up, average hourly earnings, non-farm employment change, and also unemployment rate. These three high impact news, including also will have ISM manufacturing PMI, and overall the market may potentially change its sentiment with the upcoming session. And therefore, looking at here on the intraday again, after this 4 hour doji closed from here, the market has got the rejection back above, and there are two probable scenario now at the moment is for the price to reject from this key level and then to trend back again to this daily low. Now to trend back again to the daily low, currently the market is on the daily high. So for us to find a high probability trade, for us to find a trade that really worth taking, will be the previous daily high, because the previous daily high is where there is liquidity. And as the market moves from liquidity to liquidity, once we see the bounce back above to that level, to this key level 3315, is where potential for us to see a sell entry. But in case the market is not going there, not going to that key level of resistance on the daily, instead the market rejected back below to this support, we will be looking for potential buy here. That's the plan, and that's what we will be waiting for the market to show its hand. Are you guys ready for that big day coming up potentially? It's negative. If negative, it's bullish. With the weakness on dollar, if the dollar gets weaker, as a rule of thumb, gold gets stronger, because safe haven, when people lose confidence on dollar, they come back to the gold, and vice versa. But sometime, occasionally, you might see that both are moving in the same direction. That means dollar and gold are moving in the same direction, especially when there is an economic crisis or very bad economic condition or any crisis around the world. You see that this happens, especially war or any natural disaster that could impact the economy hardly. Other than this, the market more often, because gold trade against dollar, that you can see. So with the strengthening on dollar, it should be weaker. With the weakness on dollar, it should be strengthening. What is the current state on DXY? You can see they are almost now moving in the same direction. Both of them here bullish. But the trend, if you look at overall trend, the 4-hour trend is bullish on DXY and just opposite on dollar. On gold, you can see it's a opposite on gold, which is bearish here. But lower time frame, currently the market is just, the pullback is to the lower time frame, is moving in that direction. So coming up in 1 minute, you can see the price has overextended here in that area. Which way the spike is going? Show your opinion before starting, guys. What do you think? Which way the spike is? Spike is up or down? We have 2 minutes to go. Let me start a poll quickly. Show your opinion here. Spike up or down? Predict the spike. There is a, you can cast the vote. So up 60%. Let's do it in 1 minute time. Cast it. We see that up 67%. We still have 1 more minutes to go. Cast the vote, guys, quickly. And then we will see that we see 71% going up, 73% saying up. You can cast the vote before the spike. Let's predict the spike here, up then maybe down. What's your opinion on a spike coming up? Boom. Let's wait to see. First of all, patience is key here, guys. Non-farm employment change, very negative impact, 73k in contrast with 106k. Unemployment rate remain constant, average hourly remain constant. The most important data is the non-farm employment change has dropped to 73k, nearly to the half. So that's a very, very bad news for that DXY, and that pushed the price back to the upside. How that impacted on DXY? Boom, that's a massive drop back below again, and you can see that just opposite directional effect in the market. Now, how does this happening here on? You can see that lower time frame. Boom, the market is going back to hit that daily high. The price has just crossed the daily high. From the weekly, we are looking at also the weekly resistance line. Let's delete all those lines to find the fresh one. Daily, almost to the daily 20 EMA. There's a bounce here, and today's daily high is here. The market is pushing back to the upside. 15-minute chart that you can see, it's trying to move back here to this level where there is high liquidity, and that move here, what we can see, the price is approaching that level, key level, which is support and resistance here. This is a very, very high impact news, and that has had a huge impact in the market. Half of the data, guys, 106k forecast. The previous one, if we look at the past data, RP non-farm was pretty good, but a non-farm employment change has got a bigger impact. And that move, you can see the price has made its impact to the upside, and that move could lead that price potentially back to this daily 10 and 20 EMA. Already T3321. You can see from here that push, it's a full move back to the upside here. It's a full move back to the upside. The market is approaching this key level here. There is a fair value gap. It's an imbalance in this market, and approaching that imbalance. The market is approaching that imbalance here. Now it's a very highly rising market. We may see that overextension here to the upside. That's a big move and it's a massive breakout. The question is this gonna be continuing or it's a bounce back up? And daily the price almost crossed all this daily high. It's highly likely we'll see now the price to cross the 2 daily high, which is 334, and then possibly to return back again for deeper pullback here. Now, one thing to see, the market is going to that 333.96 or 3336. That is where the daily liquidity zone. One is daily 20 MA, there is the 2 daily high. As the market has reached that far, we most likely will see the market to retest that daily liquidity zone. And this breakout that you can see, it's a potential uptrending market structure. From the weekly, we see the price is almost to the weekly resistance. From here, guys, we are almost at the end of the week. From here, the question is this market trying to be fully bullish or getting rejection back again? From the monthly, we see the price is feeling that long wick at the top. Both scenario possible. The market could still go back up and then create a new higher high. No audio. I think there is audio. Probably your mic is off. Can you confirm, is there no audio? This is 1 minute move that you can see on the market. Pretty sharp breakout. After this consolidation here, it had a huge breakout in that area. And that breakout, what we are seeing here, that the market too revert back to the upside. And the price is just crossing that daily 20 EMA. It just crossed that daily liquidity zone. And after cross of the daily liquidity zone, we could see the market too have now pullback, even if it wants to go long-term bullish. Today's market made the biggest move in this impulse so far, 532 pip. Now from that zone, a short-term drop expected. Price is on the daily 20 EMA. It just crossed that liquidity zone. So for us to find an entry here, I'm looking at the 1 minute chart for more updates here. Let's see how the market is evolving in this 1 minute chart. How this 5 minutes closing also important to see if it is becoming a very aggressive bullish or coming for a pullback here. Getting some rejection. Okay. Going for a short trade from that level, though it is still bullish, we will be placing stop loss little wider with a tight risk management. If you don't know how to risk manage, I would highly encourage not to open any position because the market is very volatile. I'm opening a possible rejection. That means reversal trade here from this level to this daily low here, and it's a sell position. There is volatility, so if it creates one impulse back to the upside with 94 pips stop loss that I'm opening position, we might see the market to potentially remain here. Expecting a rejection from the daily high. So it crossed the daily 20 EMA. We can extend, if we get an entry late, we can extend the stop loss to 3342. Extend the stop loss to 3342 level. And TV target here at 3313.68. It's a highly volatile market. I'm on the trade here. From the daily, the price just has crossed the daily 20 EMA and also the weekly resistance line. So if we look at the previous weekly high here, the market may potentially cross this high. This is so the stop loss that I placed at 3. It's a very stronger move, and the stop loss here at 3342 level, though it is showing here, still hit that one here. So the stop loss here 3342 level. Market is crazily bullish. We need to wait for further entry. Just cross that high. Just crossing that level here, and we'll be looking for further entry. Let's see that how far this candle is extending to the upside. It's just crossing that swing high, and we'll be re-entering as soon as we see the market is showing that structure. This is the 1 minute chart, and I'm out with the trade. We'll be waiting for another entry. From the weekly, we can see the price has just touched that weekly high. At any point, you could see the rejection back here, carrying that rejection potentially, and if we reject back again, we could see the market to coming back here to the daily low. So we'll be opening with a very risk managed trade for this is very unusual move on gold, almost to the reach that key level here, and from this key level, if we look at the lower time frame here, the price is approaching that resistance line. We'll be waiting for a reversal confirmation here in this area for a potential rejection in this market. There is a very high chance this market will have a potential rejection from the top, as it's already overextended, and though we have seen that reaction back to the upside, 4 hour candle close is still 1 hour 10 minutes to go. pullback is where 15 minutes price action, there will be manipulation definitely before the market go for a big bull move if it wants to. Here is a zone where daily level that we are looking at again. Depending on how much bullish volume here will determine this market to possibly come back for another retest. Are you guys ready for a potential another trade setup here? This is a, if you look at here, you can see it's a double top formation, and you think it's gonna be ready for a move back below? We might open another position if we see the market is potentially preparing for that reversal from this level. It's getting the rejection as we discussed, and okay, looking for sell again in this market with risk management again, which is the main important discussion here. Second position, the first one did work out, second one expecting it to revert back again. Now this market, I am expecting that this price to potentially come back for another retest, as the price just has got rejected from the weekly high. And if we look at here, we can see there is a bullish impulse, but at the same time there is a the price has reached that daily liquidity zone and expecting a potential retest of this support level. I'm on the trade on gold for possible break below here in this market. And what we are looking at on gold here is this market to possibly to reverse from that level as the price is on the daily resistance line. The stop loss here at I put 3348.11 and TP target at here below 3314.96. and in this market, if you look at here, what do you see? This is the 15 minutes price action, which is closing potentially as a doji. Now if it closes as a doji, the next one could go back up. We still can look to see the trend continuation, but after such a big move, looking to buy could be very risky, because on the same day moving that many pips is less likely without deeper pullback here. And from that point of view here, we are expecting the market to trend down here to the support level. Alright guys, hope that you are enjoying the live session. Make sure you like this stream and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't done yet. Press the notification bell so that you are not missing any of the content that I am posting every day. Now if this market is breaking back below here to this support level, it may even drop back to this low here 3300 before it move back again. So if we are successful with this trade, we can hold on for 230 pip potential move here. Let's count on it to see if the market is rejecting that. That's how trading is, guys. When it works on your favor, you need to hold on to the bigger profit target so that you can keep running the same position for bigger profit. Now I'm on this trade and holding on to that possible break below. The first trade only for a couple of pips didn't work out. The next one we can take more than that. Okay, so expecting it to reject back below here, and if the market drop down here, as I mentioned earlier, this is 5-minute chart, we can expect it to come back here to the, even we can extend the profit target. If the market continue to drop, I don't think it's gonna bounce before it touch the 3304 level, right? So that being said, let's hold on to that to see if the 5-minute price action showing bearish move, then we might see the market to extend back below here to this neckline, which almost can give us 336 pip potential move back below in that market. Looking at the 1 minute, expecting it to reject back below. It might consolidate in this area for a little more time. That's why we will be seeing that this market, how the price is reacting. Looking at 15 minutes price action, there is a 15 minutes doji formation. Okay, so if the market having rejection back below from this level, we might see straight drop down to this support level here, to this neckline, the liquidity zone here, and we see some rejection coming from that zone, which is in our favor. So let's look at to see if that's the starting of a downward directional move here. Now from the 5 minutes, we see that the bull's not getting enough strength for possible new higher high. So that being said, all right, we can see some bearish move coming up in this area. Okay, so slowly here we can see some bearish price action, expecting it to continue to drop. If it drops down, that's where we will see the market really showing that commitment to continue to drop to this support level here. Let's reach that key level again, and okay, so this is where the critical level that we are looking at from the 15 minutes and the lower time frame. Just cross that high, and So there is a double top on the lower time frame. Pin bar with double top, and so that double top is now need to look at either the market to go ahead, create a higher high, or coming down for another retest. Okay, 2 1 minute rejection. I think that's not gonna move up anymore. 2 1 minute doji, double top. Now to see if this is starting up a new downtrending move here. If that's not, then the market may go a lot to the upside. I think we might see now rejection that you can see 2 double top with 2 back-to-back 1 minute doji. The price just came back below our entry. Now this is the point that I would like to see the market to possibly rebut, and the TP is here. If we see aggressive drop, we may be able to extend TP even further back below for this potential drop down to this support level in this market. Coming down here for this possible drop, and we see that head and shoulder formation here in this area. And with this head and shoulder, that's not gonna hold here. Market is highly bullish, and so you see there is a stronger bullish impulse in this market, and it may continue to rise to create a higher high. So we may see the price to go back to any of this key area. This is a key level. The price has bounced from this zone to the upside, and if we look at that on the 1 minute chart again, it's still maintaining that bullish market structure, and it is from the daily very overextended to the upside, and from the weekly that we can see the price also fully overextended. So in this market, going for bullish entry before pullback will not be a good entry, so we'll wait for the market to come for that deeper pullback, breaking any of this swing low here that has created at the moment. This is a support level, and also there is another support. So once the market break any of this key support level, we can look for entry from any of this zone here. We'll be waiting for that possible entry and possible setup. It's good idea is to be patient in that zone, as the market is showing for another move, and it's just keep pushing back to the upside. It's a very unusual move. You can see this is the 4-hour candle, which is closing in 45 minutes. I think it's gonna go a lot now until it might move a lot in one direction at the moment. And or then just could revert. Okay, it's just unusually bouncing back to the upside, as you can see, and it may continue to rise. At some point you'll see the price will just get that reversal back again to to extend some of this move back below. We'll be holding on to the next position to enter with a short break here. We're back on track. Just tested this swing low here. Now this is a very overextended market to potentially buy at the moment, and the only trade that we can look for is to enter sell if the market show a clear trend change. So starting from here, you can see that all those candles that form highly bullish. This is interesting structure formation here in this area. It's a kind of graph or the chart formation. So the market started to break below from this level, and we need to rely on the another potential sell. I'm going to take another trade keeping this 5 minutes candle as a stop loss in that area. Third trade, this is, I would say, a recovery trade for this potential drop, and I'll be taking there for the full move here, at least 3 to 1. We'll be leaving it here. Based on the price action, we can take profit early if needed, but I'm opening another position here on Xauusd with tight risk management, and with the stop loss again tight above this candle. If the market drops only from that zone, we will be selling. We will be keeping the trade to stop loss at 3353.47. Placing another position here on Xauusd with a potential trend break below, as if we look at here, that you can see this is overextended in one direction, which is basically highly overextended in one direction, and I'm holding on to this one here for the recovery for the previous trade. Breaking that below here. Coming down to this support level, expecting it to continue to drop back below to create a potential new lower low. Now, the market is trending in that direction, and you might see the price to continue to have some movement here. Let's wait to see where it is heading to. Now I'm holding on to that. If this market continue to drop, we might see a significant move. That's what we're waiting to see. Price to come down here. From the 1 hour, we can see the price is pressing pressure on the support level. Let's wait to hold on to that trade. It's just a recovery trade for the previous one. So if we take that one properly, we might see that the market too possibly to come to the break-even state. 5 minutes 10 EMA has been tested and potentially to reject back here. We see that the bearish move. Waiting for that potential break below. There is a structure created. The market structure here again rearranging. You're seeing that 15 minutes closed here as a Okay, so you see there is a 1 minute bullish candle that has crossed this high. The price slowly trying to push back below. I'm holding on to this trade for a potential breakdown here. Waiting for the market to show its hand in that area. And if this market breaks from this zone, as you can see, it's getting rejection from here, we can expect it to drop a lot in that direction. And the market start to break below, and we are holding on to the trade. It's a bearish market structure. This being formed. Right, so 1 minute chart, if you guys look at it, you can see it's getting some rejection here, which is in favor of potentially 4 hour before the candle close. The market showing that bearish momentum potentially to break below to the support here. Okay, it's forming a bearish engulfer on the 5 minutes, which is showing that probability for this market to potentially trend. It's creating the bearish trend here in this area, and that giving a probability for the market potentially to continue to drop to create a new lower low in this market. So you see that continuation back below as we discussed. The market is trending and we can expect it to drop back below. I'm still holding on to that. So we are seeing that bearish continuation in this market, and okay guys, so you can see the continuation back below here, holding on to that trade, and we may see that this market potentially to continue to drop to the support level to create a new lower low in this market. So you see bearish continuation in the move, and with that bearish continuation we are holding on to the trade, and I'm expecting it to break below here. And if this market reverses, as we discussed, it may drop even back below this support level, as it is overextended in one direction today. Continuation here on this market. Okay guys, so you see the market is showing here further downside, and I'm holding on to the trade for this possible drop, and that's what it is. We need to hold on to the position which is giving us that possible profit when we are opening the position. Yeah, we can see that market is in that area showing that bearish move and holding on to that position for further break below to this support level. This is currently after this bull market, the market is starting to be a bearish and waiting on the market to show up further slide here. Now 5-minute chart, if you look at, you can see the price created a pin bar in the last moment. There is a rejection. There's a 4-hour candle close here, and that is where the 4-hour close and got the rejection from this 4-hour close. Okay, getting some rejection again. Just build up that pressure and still holding on to that. And as there is another liquidity grab, if it is coming back below here, we might see the price to break the low and then potentially to create a new lower low here in this market. Okay, continuation pattern that you can see here. Here is the long wick candle on the 15 minutes. I'm still holding on to that trade. Looking at in that area. Now with the 4-hour close that we can see the market has initially rejected back above, and now in this area here it's a very there is a very sharp bounce back above here on the lower time frame. And if you look at the 1 minute again, we can see that there was another move back to the upside. So what you're expecting here now for this market to come back here to this 4-hour support, and then to possibly break the low, and then to bounce or continue to drop. Now this trade, once the market managed to break the low here, we will be out with the trade with the running profit, as this market, what we can see here in this zone, that it's trying to create another bullish market structure. That being said, what we can see in this area, the market to here possibly to come back below, and what are you waiting for? A 4-hour retest of this support, and it's trying to push back again to the upside with the 15 minutes close. We are at near to the entry, and we're going to see further bullish trend continuation here. So before the 5 minutes close, the market is pretty volatile here, and with the ISM service PMI, the data is also negative for DXY. So both of them has given that momentum on gold for another move. So in this market, we may see that a change in market sentiment. So the data has come to be very negative here on DXY, and that given a very high probability for the market to potentially even have a reversal. Now, as we are almost at the end of the week, we are almost in the weekend, we'll be waiting to see what's happening next, as the market may restructure again. And with the current one, we will be looking to exit with the running profit once it drop back below. So waiting for the market to drop down here for another deeper pullback. And you can see the market has started to break below with a stronger momentum. If you look at here, you can see it's building up that pressure, and so we might see a potential trend continuation or sideways movement in this market. And therefore, lower time frame price action, we will be going out with the trade once the market drop back below our entry, and we will wait for the new market structure to form, as there will be weekly close, and before the close even we might see the deeper move in this market. So there is a high probability for here a pullback to any of this support level here. And looking at the 15 minutes chart again, we see that candle close coming, and I think at some point we might see the 4-hour support to be tested, as there is a gap open here. The market may not leave a gap, and that support, whenever the market is dropping back below our entry, we will be going out with the trade. And currently we see the price slowly trying to pull back to any of this support level. Okay, it's now trying to come back down for another retest, and the market start to break below in that area. If we look at the 5 minutes here, you can see after cross of this high, this is an order block here. You can see there's a pin bar, and from this pin bar the price is straight bounced back to the upside in this market. I'm looking at 15 minutes candle close here, and with that candle close, the market may come back here to this gap level, and that is where we will be exiting the trade at 3342 level. Potentially, once the market potentially come back for retest, as this is an order block, and might retest this high here. Now, after the 4-hour close, you see there is a gap open and the market didn't test the gap. So the possibility for this gap to be tested. And if we look at the 1 minute again, there is a doji formation. So in this area, as if you look at here, there is a long wick doji. Let's wait to see if the market is still pushing back up here for this liquidity. Above this level, there is a high liquidity. We are looking to see that we just keep pushing back to the upside. We might see that keep moving up, and NFP is over. We have finished the week. The market sentiment has changed due to the data. That's a very, very crazy data has come out, completely half of the previous the forecast. So let's keep observing the market to see what kind of trading opportunity might arises in the upcoming week. I hope that, guys, there was a big week this week and coming up another week for trading. and I'll see you again trading live together in that week. Until that, stay away.